Hi everyone, I'm Evangeline right here at eTrailer. Today we're talking about tire chains. Specifically, the ones we have today are the Titan chain cable style tire chains here on our 2025 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. Now it's very important that before you go off to a place that requires tire chains, that you have the right ones that give you the right traction. And because the Jeep Wrangler has so many tire size options and trim options, it's also very important to double check your owner's manual before you start shopping for chains. Now our tire size today is 255/70 R18. And double check your tire size because that will help you figure out and navigate your owner's manual for their recommendations. Now, the recommendation for our specific Sahara trim today is a very low profile tire chain because of the clearances around your tire that you have to account for. We install these on the rear tires here today, which is going to be the case for most of your Wrangler Unlimiteds, but there are some exceptions to that rule. With our rear tire though, we have a very good fit, so let's take a closer look at that. These are what are called cable chains because you can see these cables wrapped around and then the rollers on top. So this is good for providing traction in snowy conditions without tearing up the roads too much. So if you're driving around, maybe you're going to the ski resort and the route up to there is pretty snowy, these are gonna be great for that. Now in extreme icy off-road conditions, these are a little too small for those situations. But on the other hand, this Jeep specifically requires that early low profile and less invasive experience that you get with these cable style chains. This is also what that clearance looks like behind the tire. So your cables are definitely going to be up top where the tread is, but along the sidewall you have much less space being taken up, helpful in these tight conditions. Tire chains are really important, especially in extreme snowy conditions, to the point that certain areas actually require that you put on tire chains. You'll see a tire chain checkpoints in some area before you can proceed down that road. So if that's something that you anticipate happening on your next road trip, these are going to be a great low profile option for your Jeep. They are going to arrive in this bag, so this is really easy to just toss into the back of your car before your trip. If you're curious about that installation process, stick around. When setting up tire chains, I always recommend that pretty much the moment you get your tire chains at your doorstep, go ahead and try them on your car. That way you get to double check and see that the tire chains look good, but most importantly, you get familiar with how to put it on your vehicle before you're stranded on the side of the road. With our tire chains here, some key things that I look at is just that there's no rust spots, everything looks shiny, everything looks good, and I also look for the orientation of the chain. There is a lever on one hand and there's an open spot on the other. You want the lever facing the front of the tire, and you also want to make sure that the hook is facing up. So there's actually an open end of the hook, and then there's a flat end of the hook. You want the flat end on your tire, and in our case, that's going to be on the ground. So if everything looks good, let's lift this onto our car. All the orientations look set, so I'm just going to lift this up and center it on our tires. You want an even amount of tire chain on each side. You are going to have to reach behind your tire for this next step, and that is securing this cable. So notice how you have those little notches in the cable. We're just going to fit this through. I like to get a pretty secure fit here, but if you get too secure of a fit, you won't be able to secure up front. So if you have any excess like what we do with those 4 notches, you can then secure it with that keeper. This makes for a nice fit overall. Let's go back to the front. The front has a similar mechanism, but now it also has a tension lever. So making sure that the lever is in the open position, we're going to feed this on through. Now too little tension, and it's going to be too easy to move that lever. So we're gonna try to get this all the way to the last notch. Tighten that down, and then put this lever forward. And this requires just a little bit of muscle to get that lever to go down. And then hook into that cable, but we made it. Now we have some excess cable, so that will secure right in there as well. And just like that, you have a really good looking tire chain on your tire. You're gonna do the exact same step on the other side. After that, I do recommend driving forward or backwards a couple feet, because sometimes when your tires move, the chains adjust on them too, or when you hit different rocks in the road. With that being said, while this is a really good looking fit, where all the chains cover the sidewall of the tire, and I don't feel much of a gap in between the chains, if you want to account for that inevitable adjustment that it's gonna happen, you can also use some rubber tensioners. These tensioners will attach in a star pattern. So up, down, left, right, and then side to side. That way, as your tire chain adjusts, these will maintain tension on the chain, making for a good fit. Always make sure that your hooks are facing out when you attach tensioners like this, so you don't accidentally puncture anything. Let's get that last one. There. That looks good. Now, if both of your tire chains look like this, that's gonna be it for how you get this all set up. Here, you saw it at eTrailer on our 2025 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.